Yo, what's up, dudes? So I thought we would take a look at the gear of 2015. We already looked at the guitars, keep those separate. So this is everything else guitar related that I managed to finagle to the basement in the last 12 months. And the first thing is this killer Seymour Duncan pedal. Right here, the shapeshifter. Right now. Has some Velcro and a pad. There's the manual. It's a stereo pedal. This was courtesy of Seymour Duncan. And I really love this pedal. It's a lot of fun. Killer stereo tremolo. I have a video on that. I recommend you check it out. And, you know, it was a little different. I thought it was going to have a modulation, but it doesn't. It's just straight up trem. So it has all these different stereo trem effects and panning and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what's up next. Hold on. Next up is actually Blacksmith Strings. This is a company that I met at the NAMM show, and they were super nice. They actually sent me a couple of really nice Floyd Rose tremolos, and quite a few packs of these Blacksmith Strings, which I've been using, and they're a nano-coated anti-oxidation technology string. And I've had them on a few guitars for almost a year now, and they're still looking pretty good. So they definitely work. Blacksmith Strings. Got those this year as well. All right, what else? Hold on. All right, next up is the Shaman by Panama Guitars. It's a 10-20 watt switchable amp. The 20 watt is a class AB. The 10 watt is a class A. I love this amp. I was just playing it like the other day and telling the person how much I love the amp. And of the three amps by Panama, this is definitely my favorite. They're all good, but I like this one best. You know, it's got a whole bunch of killer features. It's, you know, just a nice little, and it's loud. It's surprisingly loud. So I think this came in maybe around March or so. This first showed up. Pretty cool. So the Panama Shaman. That was the next piece of kit from the year. All right, let's see what else. Hold on. All right, so the next item that showed up this year, which was, I think, April, was this, a Torpedo Reload. And I haven't done a video on it yet. Regretfully, I had all these dreams that we were going to redo the electricity, and we need a new bank of electricity over here. And I said, I will set up like a studio over here. And I had all these grandiose dreams, and then we had total mission creep on it. We never got around to doing it. And this just like sat on a shelf in a box for months after month. And I was like, I can't let this thing sit on the shelf. I got to get this thing out and start, you know, using it. So I finally, now it's finally getting a little bit of dust on it because I have it out. I finally brought this out and used it with all the Panama amps. And if you're not familiar with the Torpedo Reload, it's sort of like a Swiss Army knife. That's what Pete Thorne said about it, of sort of like amplification to mixer studio, link. So basically, you have an amp. It's an amp that you really like the tube sound of it. You really like the sound of that amp, and you want to get that into your mixer. So you run the speaker out, the full-blown 20 watts. It can actually handle. I'm not sure exactly what it can handle, because one of the documentation says 150 watts, but in the back here it says 100 watts. So let's be on the conservative side and say it can take 100 watts. No matter what volume you set it to, it's a reactive load box. No matter what volume you set it to, the line out, the DI line out that goes into your mixer is always the same volume. right? So in a very real sense, your volume knobs, except for the very lowest of volumes, once you get past like 7 or 8 o'clock on that knob set, right? Once you get like any movement at all, once you get past that first initial ramp up of volume, it's pretty much a tone knob after that. So either you're going to turn up the gain, it's either the distortion knob on the pre, or it's really a tone / distortion knob on the post. And it's pretty awesome, actually. So it takes that amp's full-blown sound with power amp and everything. It's the full wattage of the amp, up to 100 watts. It goes in here, and then it can be run magically at normal volume without ruining your mixer right into the mixer. I can put that into my computer and run like Wall of Sound, which is their plug-in, and choose any one of, dozens of cabs that they offer, or third-party IRs, or whatever you want to do. I could even run it into TH2. I could run it into my PV revalver, turn the amp off, and use this as the amp and the rest of the rig. So it's really versatile, but it goes like so much beyond that. It's also like a really killer DI box. So you could run parallel channels in, record one channel with the full-on sound, and run a parallel channel simultaneously recording with just the DI sound, so you could reamp it back out again. I mean, it's really cool. and it just goes on from there. So you can reamp back out. It's a reamp box, so you can reamp back out into here, and it even has a way to match your original guitar volume to make sure that when you're overdriving back out of the mixer, you're getting the proper volume that you would get as if you used the real guitar. So again, it's extremely versatile. I'll do a full video on it. As you can see, it will be a detailed video, but the short of it is, make this go there into computer and come through my speakers without blowing up, anything. Obviously, you couldn't run this out. You could run the preamp out, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same without the power amps. And a lot of people will tell you that the amp tone is in the power amps. And so they make a version that's like all-in-one, that has like the cabs in it and everything. That's the Torpedo Live. And then they make one that's even more complex, full-on stereo and everything, and that's the Studio. This is the Reload, which is more of like a studio, right? That's why it has rubber feet. It's not a rack mount. And it's really made for being used with a computer to get your cab sounds. And that's it. All right. Reload box. All right, let's see what's up next. All right, so next item for the year, the Panama Conqueror. This is an awesome, it's a wired, handmade amp that is 5 watts and Class A, and it's basically an exact replica of the, the 5F1, the Fender Champ. I forget the arrangement of letters, but it's, that original Fender Champ design. And it's got the sag and everything you can imagine, 2 knobs, volume, tone. Running it through this is awesome, right? Because you get that, you can crank it up, and of course no one can hear you running through headphones. So I run it through this and here, run it through here into the Wall of Sound. They have a killer like Fender vintage cab that I run it through. It sounds great. I love it through the Panama 112. This is a cool amp. And the real cool thing is that it's got an attenuator on the back. So you can, turn the volume down and run it through a speaker at bedroom volume. It's really cool. The Conqueror. And these are really inexpensive. These are like, what? I think they're between $299 and $350, somewhere around there, depending on whether it's on sale. I think they're normally like $350, $349. You see them on sale for $299 once in a while. All right, that was next. I think this came in right around the end of April, early May. All right, let's see what's next. See you in a sec. All right, up next, I did a video for Riff City Guitar Outlet, which if you're not familiar with, they are awesome. And that guy, Joe, is super awesome. I really love that place. They really got their customer service down and their shipping processes down, and they're really awesome. And they are the exclusive Tone City pedal dealer for the U.S. So I did a video for them. They sent me a bunch of pedals, and sadly I had to send almost all of them back. But I got to keep one, and this is it. I kept the golden plexi, which is great. I love this little pedal. Sounds great, and even on low, it's pretty beefy. It was hard to choose between this one, and I really like the Mandragora, and I really love the Sweet Cream. That was hard, but I wound up going with the one that was a little heavier. This is definitely a heavier pedal than those other two, so I went with the heavier distortion. Golden plexi. All right, what else do we got around here? I think we're winding it down a little bit, but I probably have another item or two. All right, we'll be back in a sec. All right, next item up would be clear tone strings. I don't think I mentioned them earlier. Again, they're a long-lasting string. They're a treated string, and I found that they did really last long. And I'm going to do a video about them coming up real soon, because what I wanted to do was, I could just string up a guitar, and I did that throughout the year. I strung a few guitars using these strings, and we talked about these strings in several videos. But I think the purpose of those restrings were to come back many months later and take a close look at the strings and see how are they looking. How are they looking with very light use, but enough use to get some oils and dirt on them, and then just let them sit. I'll see you in 8 months and see how they're doing. So we'll go back, we'll take a look. I've taken a look at a few of the guitars, and so far they're looking pretty good. So we'll check that out coming up. But clear tone strings, I wanted to give them a mention as well. All right, I think I have at least one more item, 2, 3 more items. I'll see you in a sec. All right, up next we have the Panama Fuego with mango wood front. This is a 15-watt amp, 2-channel with a bright switch on the clean side and a gain, like a high gain, low gain on the dirty side. So in that sense, you really have like 4 voices with 2 channels. And let's see, you got send and return, preamp, pre-out, foot switch, comes with the foot switch. And this sounds awesome. I've done a couple of tone videos, haven't really done my full video on this one yet. I don't even think I ever did a full video on the Conqueror either, but we're getting there. I swear, it's coming up soon. But check out my tone videos on the Fuego. I think it sounds great. And I'll do more. I want to do some of the tone videos with both this and that through this, and we'll check that out and get that all going through my rig and see how that works. And straight up with the cab too, because people want to hear it how they're going to use it. Most people are going to use it with a cab and not through a reactive load box. So we're getting there. All right, let me see if I have anything else, and I'll be back in a sec, and we'll wrap up the gear of 2015. See you in a sec. All right, up next we have Moval pedals. Those come in late in the year, and these were fun to check out. They're a triple pedal, so each one is 3 pedals. And I think you have a compressor and an overdrive and a boost. And this one is a an overdrive, a distortion, and a delay. And they're really cool. Especially, I like this one with the delay. I thought the delay sounded really good. So cool. Moval Audio. And I think I have one more item to check out. Hold on. Okay, this is it. Final item for the year. The item is too big to bring up here, but it is the Viper Pro 100 from Peavey. And to represent the Viper Pro 100, I am showing you the Viper Sampera Pro. Feast your eyes on all the buttony goodness and pedally goodness of the Viper Sampera Pro. This was completely unexpected from Peavey and totally awesome. And the amp is incredible. I can't wait to do a demo on it. Someone had posted on my page. I'll take a moment to answer that question now. They said they mentioned 2 other amps. I saw the post. Get the Viper. Compared to those other 2 amps you listed, the Viper blows them away. It's not even a contest. Not even a contest. All right. The Viper is better. All right. Without a doubt. Compared to those amps you listed, the Viper's better. So this is a really interesting amp. I will do a demo on it. Just to leave you with this on the Viper. If you go into a store and you check it out, don't be dissuaded by some of the patches. I think that the Viper suffers from what TH3 suffered from and a few other products out there, in that they have a lot of options when they're creating sounds. And so the sound designer feels like they need to use those options. So they turn everything on, and it just becomes too much. It's fine for a few patches, but I like simpler patches where it's just an amp and a cab and that's it. Maybe a little reverb and delay. That's it. Even a lot of people don't even like the reverb and delay. They want just straight amp. So when you turn off, I think a lot of the effects on the Viper, and it's just like the amp, and with maybe like a delay or reverb, this is like one of the most incredible amps. I can't convey to you the awesomeness of the amp models in that Viper Pro 100. They sound incredible. There's not a bad amp in the bunch. And when we do the demo, you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's incredibly versatile and it's incredibly deep. And so Peavey reached out to me with the software. And so I did the software, and we had been in touch a little bit, and I sent them the link on the software, and they were like, hey, cool, and we're going to send something out for you. And I was like, hey, cool. And I figured it was like a mug or something, and it was the Viper Pro 100. I was like, what? And with the foot switch, and I can tell you, this thing is incredible. So, I like the whole week, my family was like, because they're used to me using headphones, and I can use headphones with this, but I didn't want to. I wanted to hear the speaker. So I had it cranked up that whole weekend. My family was like, how long are you going to be playing that amp? Because they're not used to me doing that. I'm like, I am playing this thing. So this might have been like one of the most exciting bit of kit I got all year, just because it's so deep and it's so much fun. It sounds so good. It has so many different little features. If you're a gadget guy, you love this stuff. And like any solid state amp, it sounds best at low to moderate volumes. But because it's 100 watts, moderate volumes are plenty giggable, plenty loud to play with a drummer, and you don't really have to crank it up to the point where you're overdriving that amp, the solid state amp, and getting that bad sound. You can get really good volume and really good tone at the same time, which is hard with a solid state amp. It really is. And they nail it with this. So I'll go into it more when I get it, when I do a full demo on it. But, this amp was right up my alley when it showed up. I was like, oh, because I had the old Viper. I had the old, Viper Pro 100. Not Pro 100, Viper 100. The 100W. And this is the Viper Pro. A lot more amp models, has many more amp models in the VIP. What else? It's just a killer amp. A lot of fun. So, that's it. So that was everything. That was the gear for 2015. And I think I'll be back with one more video before the end of the year. And, for those of you who aren't on my Facebook page, what's that? Oh. All right. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, rock on.